All right, here we are, another good bench day. A little bit under the weather today. Not to be one of those people to put the asterisk next to the the workout, but I like to share most of the information about the workout with you. So that was part of why I just kind of stopped it at 6 reps with the 280. I think maybe could have squeezed out a couple more, but I knew because the sleep was negligible, as it were, last night. So you're not as likely to hit a PR on a day like that. And usually when I'm not feeling as good, it's a little harder to get the calories in, just because I'm not necessarily a super hungry person by nature. What is that red mark there? No idea. So yeah, 280 for 6. Still felt really solid, nice and even in the video. So I'll take that. Now we're gonna drop it down. I'll show you the workout plan after we check the weight. We got the new scale. I'm just gonna grab a sip of water here. Not to push the numbers, but just because I am thirsty. All right. E-Tech City. Should probably do a scale review. 0. Okay. Probably 205, 206. Don't believe that's correct. Hold on. Scale doesn't give me confidence with the jumping around. Okay, we've lost tons of weight. Hold on. I'm going to put the scale on a plate. Probably a good thing to do anyway. Oh man, can you imagine if I was back to 194? Yikes. All right. So we did not lose as much weight as I thought. I still got the calories in because I'm relatively stubborn when it comes to that kind of thing. If I'm not feeling good, I'm just of the mindset that there are too many bumps in the road when you stop every time something comes up. If that makes sense. Obviously, you got to adapt when you're not feeling as good, but you just end up missing too many workouts if you stop every time something's not feeling 100% perfect. You know what I mean? So 280 for 6. I know, very frail considering we did 300 for 6 on Friday. Now we're going to go 260, incline flies, more sets, tricep press downs, more sets. So I'm thinking probably 8 reps on this. I was due for a deload on the bench anyway, but I didn't want to be kind of forced to take one like I am today. But I don't know what, if you have a bad night's sleep, that's one thing. If you just don't sleep at all, that's another thing that can for sure set your workout back. And in that case, you're probably better off doing like what I'm doing today, where maybe you still use the same weights, but you just drop all the reps a little bit, or you just knock all the weight down. Or a good one to do when that happens is just knock out a good arm day where you're doing biceps and triceps, because still challenging, but for most people, they enjoy that kind of thing. And it doesn't have any heavy compound movements where you're going to throw yourself off. Like if I went all out and tried to do as many as I could at 280 and say I only got, 7 or 8 mentally, that would probably mess with me a little bit the next time I went back to attempt that weight. So if I instead just realize I'm not going to be able to get 10 anyway, more than likely, knock it back just a little bit, still move the weight, things feel good, and then move forward with a positive mindset about the workout, if that makes sense. The mindset is huge. If you can keep a positive mindset going when you're working out, game changer. All right, so 260 here, I think. Yeah, 8 probably. I said 8 plus, but we'll see about that. I'd be happy with just 8. They gave it a good rest in between. And I didn't see a lot of tilt with 280, so hopefully that's moving in a good direction, possibly. Those pauses will get you. Yeah, I think that was what was called for today. It's a tough thing. Because like I said, I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to not missing workouts. Like even yesterday, wasn't feeling the greatest, but it was kind of a busy weekend, and like I'm not missing my last deload leg day. We're getting it done. But people probably could argue about the positives and negatives of training when you don't feel that great. And maybe speaking specifically from whether or not it's going to strengthen you, that's debatable, possibly not. Is it going to strengthen you mentally? Not to toot my own horn, just talking about keeping the consistency even when you don't feel good. I mean, I would argue that it probably strengthens you even more mentally to still train when you're not feeling good, because, okay, now I did 280 for 6 when I'm not feeling good. Next time I am feeling good, which will be later tonight or tomorrow, hopefully, maybe on the next bench day, I'll have the confidence to know, all right, I did 280 for 6, feeling not so great. I could probably get 10, feeling good, fueled up, good song, Cave That We Fear to Enter. So that's my thought process there. People argue about it. Interested to hear what people think about that. Like, I know a lot of people think just rest totally, but I just find too often am I at the peak of some lift and taking a day off. Like, I know if I didn't bench, I feel like that would hurt me on Friday. I don't know if it would or not, but I feel like it would. And it's like it seems to collide very often with me being at peak strength on certain lifts and not feeling good or not being able to train that day when I want, or something like that. So now I'm just very stubborn, and pretty much no matter what, we'll still get some sort of workout in. Plane going by. So yeah, we'll give it a couple seconds. We'll come back and do the incline. All right, onto the incline. Same idea here, dropping the weight a little bit. 205. Pretty confident we can get 10 with this, even with not being 100%. And then I might do another set if we have enough time. Probably after this, we'll move on to incline flies because I want to spend a little more time on the flies. I feel like I've been neglecting the big stretch motions for chest. I know they do lead to good gains. It's so much easier to track bench press with repetitions. Like, there's so much more going on with flies. Angle of the arms, how far you go down. Bench press is pretty simple. Like, you hit your chest and you lock your arms. That's it. So I tend to gravitate towards exercises like that. I find that a lot of the enhanced community is kind of big on those non-compound, contraction-based. Who was it? Natural Hypertrophy was talking about this. He was saying a lot of those movements, I think this was him, a lot of those smaller movements, where you're not really exerting a huge amount of force, are used by the enhanced or supplementing folk, because you can do whatever you want and get big. I thought he said that well. All right. But anyway, we're going to try and get some more flies in to pump the chest up. Not a good Arnold impression. I'm going to leave it at 8. Felt decent, but I don't know. I don't want to burn out the RPMs completely there. Onto the flies now. Does that make sense what I was saying about those movements? A lot of times I see these really odd contraction-based, like, just complicated, weird stuff, and it's some massive person saying, like, this is the thing that built my chest, and it's like, really? Are you sure about that? Even like natural lifters, after the fact, going back and saying, well, the main thing that built my chest was this single arm, unilateral band contraction movement. And it's like, really? It wasn't just barbell bench, incline bench, like basic movements? I don't know. Like, especially for a new lifter, like somebody that weighs 140 pounds, if they just spend most of their chest workout doing band contractions and stuff where you're not actually moving a decent amount of weight, I would probably argue that you need basic movements as the foundation. Later on, you increase your workout length. You want to add something else in. Like, I'm never making most of my workout about the flies. I'm getting the big movements in first, and then I move on to the flies. And if I only have 30 minutes, guess what? I'm only doing a big movement, because I know, again, as a natural lifter, those big compound movements progressed over time, obviously with calories and sleep, are going to be where the gain is at. You can't just be random with your exercise selection, Okay. Stretch the chest. I've trained with some enhanced lifters in my time, not recently, but a while back. And the weird thing I noticed was that every, say, leg day was completely different. Sometimes it would be hack squats. Sometimes it would start with leg press. Sometimes with front squats. Week to week, it was never the same. And I was always like, how can that lead to progression? Like, yeah, your legs are sore, but it's a false sense of improvement. Soreness is not correlated to increasing size and strength. It's just doing something different or out of the ordinary. So in some ways, it's a little bit correlated, because maybe you push your squats extra hard. That could be a sign of progress, but typically it's correlated with just changing your workout routine, which is not a sign of progress. It's actually a sign of regression in my mind. Sign of progress is I benched 280 for 10, and the next week I did 280 for 11. That's progress. Or I measured my chest and it actually got bigger. So yeah, I always couldn't get my head around that, because I would do the same. I would do back squats and I would try and improve a little bit, and they would do random stuff. And I was like, how can that lead to progression? And that's what natural hypertrophy was talking about, saying basically as long as you work the muscle a little bit, add in the supplementation, it's going to grow. As a natural lifter, you got to be specific, and focus on the progression and be diligent in that regard. I don't know how we got on this topic, but give it a couple seconds. We'll go back to the flies. I think because probably most of the people well known on Instagram are enhanced. So they're talking about different methods, some of which may be good, but a lot of which doesn't apply the same to natural lifters. Maybe some people take offense to that statement, but I don't know. Second set. That's one of the many reasons I like Alex Leonidas' channel, formerly Alpha Destiny, I guess. I wasn't on YouTube at that point in time. Because he always talks about that. Like, you've got to be focused. You've got to be specific with your exercise movements. You've got to actually push yourself to the limit. you know, make sure that you're working hard, putting in good effort, you know, and progressing certain movements. You know, some people argue about the squat, bench, deadlift being, you know, the best. I wouldn't say deadlift is the best for hypertrophy just because it's kind of a all-around movement, like it works a little bit of everything. I don't do deadlift for hypertrophy, although I have seen some hypertrophy in the traps and the lower back from it for sure. I just do it because I like doing it, you know. I'm not doing it because it's the most optimal movement for glutes or whatever. I just like picking up a heavy weight off the ground. I don't know, it's so basic to me. Like, and I get so much, not anxiety, but like anticipation when a deadlift workout is approaching. And not in a bad way. It's like, it's go time, you know. I love that feeling, getting hyped up for it. So I'll be excited to do that on Thursday. Squats and bench though, like regular flat bench, I think great for the chest. That's where probably some supplementing lifters will say you're better off with, you know, a cable fly. And it's like, maybe if you've got the enhancements helping you to grow at the same time, you could be better off with the cable fly. A lot of times I feel like supplementing lifters say that too, because there's a much higher risk of popping a tendon when you're supplementing because of how Bromley's got some good videos on that about how, you know, when you're supplementing, there's a higher risk of injury with a lot of things. So I think that's why a lot of times enhanced lifters will turn to these kind of weird exercises that don't use a lot of weight and are just all about the pump, and they'll stray away from the squats, the deadlifts, and the flat bench, you know, because with those movements, there's more risk of injury. If you're natural, it's not, you know, as long as you progress slowly, you'll be okay. But if you're enhanced, there's that probably fear in the back of the head that you might pop something at any moment in time. So, okay, let me go with my single arm cable band fly instead. But then if you're telling natural lifters that's the best movement for the chest, it's like, no, false. Last set. The creaking in the bench is unsettling. Really interested to hear people's thoughts about that subject. I know it's a gray area. And I've talked about this before because a lot more people on Instagram and YouTube are just totally open about their supplementing. And I think, unfortunately, that's just drawn more young people to go the supplementing route because they see the way someone looks and they think, okay, the only way I'm going to get there is to do what they're doing. So I just feel like stay natty, basically. Again, that's why I really like Natural Hypertrophy and Alex Leonidas' channel, because they talk about that concept of the natural limit and how that's not actually a thing. And it's in reality just that people need to do better with their food, do better with their sleep, do better with their training, push the intensity, push the consistency, you know, basic stuff, basically. Not overcomplicating things, having these ridiculously intricate programs, just basic stuff, you know. So we'll give it a couple seconds. We'll get the press down. Well, those felt good today. Hey, take your PRs where you can get them. Toasty. Last thing. I don't want these triceps to start shrinking. Right. Let's go. It's a good workout. I have to say, I've noticed even if I can't get the best workout in, I always feel, all right, we're back. I was saying hi to the little guy. He just woke up. Also, I was closing up his sandbox because it's going to rain, so we don't want the sand to get all soggy and whatnot, because that wouldn't be fun for him when he's playing in it. But anyway, what I was saying was, even if you can't have 100% effort workout and hit a PR, for myself at least, I always feel significantly better if I'm under the weather, not feeling good. I always feel significantly better after I work out. So that's another reason why, other than just the stubbornness factor of wanting to keep my consistency of the workouts, it's because I just, like right now, I don't feel under the weather anymore. I feel much better. I feel good. So another reason to do something. Just, I wouldn't recommend going all out. Just keep it nice and easy. Get the blood flowing. So yeah, that's it for today. Another good day. I think Friday, I might go for something heavy on bench if food's good, because I'm sure I'll be feeling 100% by then. Food's good, sleep's good. If we can knock out a 209 weigh-in or something like that, I think that'll point to a bench PR being doable. But we shall see. The new scale seems to be leaning in my favor. I did not expect to weigh in that heavy today because the lack of sleep and then not consuming enough meals. But still decent. So we'll take it. That's it. Really appreciate the support. Hope you're having an excellent day and hope you're able to get a workout in today. And yeah, just keep the focus, keep pushing. You'll always feel better after you get the workout in. You may not necessarily feel great when you're starting the workout, but you'll be happy once you get it done. All right, that's it. Thanks so much. Peace.